How about?
I'm here with my friend Esdras Gavira. Please introduce yourself.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is P.C. Gavira. I am a Mexican American in the United States military, the Marine Corps. I'm here with my best friend Jose Valdez.
Okay, well, I'm here to ask you some questions. You said you were born in an immigrant family?
Yes, I was.
Tell me about those first generation disadvantages.
Well, for starters, as growing up as a Mexican American, I would have to go with my mother to go to places like getting an apartment or getting a house, and it would suck because she would automatically be denied or be first to get denied or first to be getting delayed because she didn't have any papers.
How did that affect you mentally growing up?
It just made me feel like not equal, or like I had to give back to my mother because my mother gave me everything. It was part of the reason why I even joined the military to begin with, so I can get my mom papers. So she doesn't have that kind of disadvantage anymore.
So as a child of an immigrant family, were you very poor?
Yeah, dude, I was very poor. But
and your mother didn't get any government benefits, correct?
No. When we were growing up, me and my sisters, I would barely even see my mom. Like, literally, it would just be good morning and good night.
Is it because she worked all the time?
Every day.
Every single day, right?
It affected it mentally, just in general. Because I never knew who to ask for help. I never asked my sisters for help because they were never there for me. And I never asked my mom for help because she could speak English at the time.
So you were
but
alone
now it's
as
like,
a child?
Why would I ever ask her?
You felt alone as a child?
Yeah.
What about growing up in the school system? Did you ever have any experiences where you felt like you were treated differently?
Yes. So growing up, especially in the school system, people would automatically assume I couldn't speak English or couldn't read in English or just like couldn't do anything alone. And it made me mad and pissed off in a way.
That discouraged you, huh? From wanting to study further?
Yes. They basically did. And even though some of the times I could read better, speak better, or give proper grammar better than them.
Did they ever treat you as though you were a bad child at school?
Yeah. They did, actually.
Can you tell me about those experiences?
Every time when I was in the bathroom or the restroom, when I was in the restroom and like let's say a staff member or a teacher or supervisor would walk in, they would automatically assume I was vaping or just doing something bad in general.
Tell me more about the experiences you had growing up in our society.
The things I saw from my mom, I wouldn't have ever been able to live in that house if it wasn't for Victor. My mom would have never been able to have the car she has right now if it wasn't for Victor. And that kind of pisses me off because I know I wanted to need anybody, does not need anybody in order to live. She's always been very independent. I'm glad that she has somebody, but I know that the second they get divorced, she's completely fine. So it makes me feel like I have to do something for her.
Well, it's because your mother did everything to try to give you everything, right? Even if that meant getting with somebody.
Yeah.
Was your family ever afraid of the police?
Yeah.
Tell me about that and how it affected you.
Like, even just like any second, my mom didn't even want to drive at night because she feels like she'll get pulled over. And if she gets pulled over, that's it. She'll literally get sent back to Mexico.
And that would ruin your entire life here because you wouldn't be with your mom.
That would ruin everybody's entire life because we all rely on her.
Under terrible circumstances, did you ever feel like you couldn't call the police or authority because of the way that you felt about them?
Well, thankfully for me,
you never had to go through anything like that.
I never had to. I never got to that point. But you know it almost has. But thankfully it hasn't. But I do know that if that were to go down, I don't think I would be able to call the police because of that reason.
And that probably brought a lot of fear to you as a child.
Yeah. Of course it did. It actually has happened with my father, but nobody really cared about him. Oh. Everything I did was always third world or third party, I mean. Just like small little things because everything was too expensive for my mother because she didn't have the money to afford it because she didn't have the papers to get a good job. She literally makes money from a sports bar. I feel like the only reason why she works is because she has no papers. And if she were able to work somewhere else, she could. But now it's just too late for her.
How long has your mom been working there?
It's like her entire life since she's been here.
And that was just to support you.
I was literally just to support me. Like, could you imagine where she'd be at? Like, if I was never born. I don't even think she'd be doing this.
I'm sure your mother loves you.
I don't know. I don't even know what she'd be doing. That's like crazy. And some people don't think about that.
Yeah, your mother orientated everything for you. Huh?
Mm-hmm. My mom does stuff for you.
Did you ever feel bad just being a Mexican? Like having
I hated being Mexican sometimes.
Why did you hate being Mexican?
Because we didn't have the luxury as some people.
Or were you jealous that people had normal lives? Or somewhat better lives?
I've never had a normal life until I moved into that apartment with my mom and my sister. And I hated it. I think I hated it the most. That was the part where I hated my life the most. Because I felt so normal to the point where I wanted crazy back. And that's not right.
Wow. Especially as a child.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to be.
I never had a normal life. I think that if I was still a civilian today, I don't know if I could handle it.
Is it that mentally?
I loved it. I had my freedom. But I don't know if I would have been able to mentally handle it.
Is it that mentally bearing, do you think?
Yeah.
Hard to try to fix this feeling so that the people down the line or your ancestors.
Yeah. I like, remember what I would tell you back then before I even joined? I want the future of my generation, of my family, to have someone to look up to, because I never had that kind of person to look up to before me. And that always felt wrong. My family, as much as they don't want to admit it, is full of failures and dropouts because their family are just immigrants and they look at them as failures as well.
So there's no lineage that helps or supports you. You don't have any ancestors who have built something here that you could fall back or rely on.
Besides my mother, no. I don't want to end up like my sister or both of them. That's why I'm here.
I can see you're doing a lot for yourself. Well, I appreciate your time on here.